In this video, I am going to discuss about risk and uncertainty. Terms risk and uncertainty are used interchangeably in day-to-day life, but in the context of business and finance, these are two separate terms with their own characteristics. Risk and uncertainty are concerned about the future outcomes. Here, we are not concerned about the past because they have already happened. We are concerned about the future events or future outcomes. This is where the risk and uncertainty are considered because we are worried about the future. Now let's discuss what is the difference between uncertainty and risk. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is non-measurable or unquantifiable future outcomes. Non-measurable means we cannot measure. Unquantifiable also means that we cannot measure the uncertainty. So this is the main characteristic that distinguish between uncertainty and risk. Risk. Risk is measurable or quantifiable possible future outcomes. Here now we can measure the risk, or this is also called as the quantifiable future outcomes. Now let's discuss what are the other differences between risk and uncertainty. Risk, as we know now, is measurable or quantifiable, whereas uncertainty is non-measurable or unquantifiable. Risk is based on past experience, whereas for uncertainty, there is no past experience to base on. For the risk, probability of possible outcomes are known, whereas for uncertainty, probability of possible outcomes are unknown. And lastly, using risk, mathematical techniques can be modeled, whereas for uncertainty, mathematical techniques cannot be modeled because uncertainty does not include any numbers because it is unmeasurable or unquantifiable. Here is an example for risk and uncertainty in the context of business. Risk. A business introducing a new variation of an existing product to the same market. Uncertainty. A business introducing a new product to a new market. Let's discuss about these two situations. Risk. A business is introducing a new variation of an existing product to the same market. So they have the past data about the market and the new product will be a variation of an existing product. So they have past data on the existing products as well. So they can measure or quantify the future possible outcomes using the past data. Whereas in this instance, the business does not have the data on the new market. Let's say they are going to sell their new product in a different country. So they do not have the past data for the new market. So this will be an uncertainty for the business. So this uncertainty cannot be measured or quantifiable because they do not have past data. Here is how the businesses are treating uncertainty and risk. When there is uncertainty, decisions can be made logically, whereas when there is risk, decisions can be made numerically. Let's go to the previous example. So here the business has an uncertainty whether this product will be successful in the new market. They do not have numbers to based on their decisions. So what they have to do is they have to make decisions based on logical sense. Whereas for risk, the business has data so that they can make decisions based on numerical figures. Now let's discuss about the possibility and probability terms. These terms will be frequently used under risk and uncertainty. Possibility and probability are related concepts that both have to do with the likelihood of an event occurring, but they are not the same. So these are two separate terms. Possibility refers to whether or not an event could happen, regardless of how likely it is. For an example, it is possible for a person to win the lottery. but the chance of actually winning are usually quite low, which means the probability is low, but there is a possibility that a person could win the lottery. Probability is a measure of the likelihood of an event occurring. It is expressed as a number between 0 and 1, where 0 means the event is impossible, which means there is no possibility, and 1 means it is certain. For an example, the probability of flipping a coin and getting heads is 0.5, which means as percentage 50%, assuming the coin is fair, because we know the heads or tail is going to happen. So the probability of flipping one side is 0.5 or 50%. In summary, possibility is a binary concept that indicates whether or not an event could occur, while probability is a numerical concept that quantifies the likelihood of an event occurring. Possibility is a binary concept, which means 0 or 1, either of these two values. 0 means it could not happen, 1 means it could happen. If the probability is 0, we are certain that this will not happen. If the probability is 1, we are certain that this will happen. Any number between 0 and 1 indicates there is a possibility of happening that event. You have to have the understanding of the difference between the possibility and the probability. So to summarize this video, we discussed about risk and uncertainty. So we can conclude that risk is measurable uncertainty, whereas uncertainty is unmeasurable risk. What is uncertainty? Uncertainty is the unquantifiable future outcomes. If we can quantify these future outcomes, it will become risk because we can quantify the risk. What is risk? Risk is the quantifiable future outcomes. If we cannot measure the future outcomes, it will become uncertainty because uncertainty cannot be measured or unquantifiable. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.